Danny, how do you reflect on the Maidenhead win, and how pleased are you with the way that you managed the game at the end?
I think, like I said after, it's a win. It's that home straight. Okay, doesn't make it any more of an important win if it was the first game in the season. But I think when all round nerves might be jangling through clubs all over the country with that final push, the wins now probably are more important than ever. Does that mean the performance goes out the window? No. I think there's a lot of things the manager was disappointed with and pleased with on Saturday. I think it was nice that there wasn't, although we had a couple of late scares in and around our box, we looked pretty comfortable in seeing the game out, which was really pleasing for myself personally. It's a clean sheet. Would we like to win 3 or 4 and put on a fantastic display? Of course we would, but the 3 points are the most important thing.
3 goals in 4 for Kwasi Asante. What are you seeing from him? What do you like about him? And how vital is he given the loss of Shimanga?
Yeah, crucial. I think he's come back from his injury and played a lot of games, especially when the manager first came in. And I think he felt it was the time right to give him a little bit of a breather, just to, it's easier said than done when you're out for that amount of time to come back and hit the ground running, which I thought he did. You're going to blow up a little bit. And hopefully now he's had his break, he's refreshed, and I'm sure he'll be hoping for a start tomorrow night at Altrincham. But his goal record from when he joined the club certainly doesn't lie. There's a reason for that, because he's a top player.
Yeah, I think 7 in 17 coming off a long injury layoff. He has really shown his quality and ability to score at this level, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I think you might be no more than me having it this morning, but I think if you look at the starts he's made, the strikers always go on the starts they've had. Really, so how many starts? I'm sure it's 1 in 2 minimum, I'd imagine. So that's great, especially with Cabs' injury. Obviously, you got other strikers who are looking to contribute, and at the minute it's Kwasi who's putting the ball in the back of the net, and hopefully he can carry on that to the end of the season.
Is that the key, really, Danny? You need other players to almost help him out a little bit here and chip in with goals as well.
I think we do all over. I think if you look at all teams at the top of the league, yes, we're very unfortunate with the injury to the best striker in the league by a country mile, and so then you are looking for more goals from the other strikers, from midfielders, from defenders, from set pieces, from long range efforts. You are looking for everyone to chip in. So we have done that over recent weeks. But listen, if you said that Kwasi was the only person who scored in the season, it got us promoted, we'd take it. But in an ideal world, everyone chips in.
10 games to go. Is first place still a possibility in your eyes, or is it going to be challenging to close the gap, given that Stockport keep winning? Even when they're in a losing position, they somehow find a way to get through.
Yeah, they do. And they're doing the right things. If you're 2-0 down at home to all due respect, to a smaller National League club like Wealdstone, and you turn it around to not only just get a 2-2, but to go and win 4-2, you're doing the right things. Do you know what I mean? You're doing that. I watched their goals back, and they conceded 2 poor goals. And then, to be fair, they turned the screw second half and battered Wealdstone. So they're doing the right things. And it's the old cliche, we can't really worry about them. We just got to presume they're going to keep winning. We've got to presume that all the other teams are going to keep winning. The benefit we've got is that not only have we got to play the top teams, that they've all got to play each other, so they can't all win. And we can only really, without sounding too much like a cliche, we can only really focus on ourselves. Is it going to be? Are they going to, at the minute, the standout favourites to win it? Of course they are. But stranger things in football have happened. They've got a long trip down to Kings Lynn, but you can't worry about them going to Kings Lynn, because we've got a massively tough game at Altrincham to worry about.
And what type of game will it be against Altrincham, do you think?
I think it'll be tough. I think they've got a very, very good front 4, front 3, or however you want to look at it. I went to watch them the other week against Weymouth. Yes, Weymouth were quite poor on the night. It was 5-0, probably could have been 10. And then at Southend, they weren't as good, but they still had very good threats early on. If they get the first goal, maybe they go on to beat Southend. So there's not many teams in this league that don't bring a threat. They bring a certain threat with their attacking players. I think the pitch is going to be nice. I'm hoping it'll be a good game of football that we come out on top of.
Good luck, Danny. All the best.
Thank you.
Afternoon, Danny.
Hi, Liam. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thanks. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
I just wanted to ask you about Commando Shimanga. How's his recovery going so far?
Well, the good thing is with Cabs that he's now gone from having like a a few weeks break where obviously he's gathering his thoughts since Weymouth, seeing family and making sure he's all right, mentally, because that's a big blow for him as a person. So now he's in nearly every day, with the physio department, down the gym, smile on his face. So that for any human being is great, because he looks like he's back to his old self. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Don't ask me on a time frame specifically, but stranger things have happened than players coming back sooner than later. But for him, we've got to make sure that even if it is that towards the end of the season or into the playoffs, if we're in the playoffs, we can't be tempted to make him sort of run before he can walk, because there's nothing worse after a broken anything to have another setback, because we've had too many of them at this club where someone's come back for whatever reason and they've had another setback and we've lost that player indefinitely. So it's good. I think on a personal note, it's great to see him back in the building. He's around it now. He isn't at home. He's here, and he's raring to go, whether it be this season or the start of next season.
What does the next step of his recovery look like then? What's he got to do next?
I think sooner or later he's getting the big boot off his leg, and then you can start walking properly again, light jogging. Then it comes the ball work. Then it comes the full training. So that doesn't happen overnight. The physio department have got it sort of locked down. Really, they know what they're doing with him. And whether it's Cabs or any of other players, yes, he's massively important to us, but that he'll get the same treatment as everyone else. And he's certainly very positive, which always helps, I think, an injured player, because if they're negative and doom and gloom, it sometimes puts the rehab back a bit longer, because mentally they're not there yet. So mentally he's there, but obviously it's going to be a while to get that leg right.
How would you rate his chances of potentially making a comeback this season?
I think at the moment I would say very slim. Very slim. But as I said, stranger things have happened. Sometimes you think lads are going to be back within weeks, and they're back within months. Sometimes you think players are going to be back within months, they're back within weeks. He won't be back within weeks, all right? So that rules that one out. But you never know. I would say there's much more chance of him not playing a part, sadly, for everyone to hear. But there is a chance that, the rehab goes great and miraculous recovery and it kicks on. So I wouldn't rule that out. But like I said previously, the biggest thing for me is of the horrific tackle he received when his career is at its height. Mentally now, he's back. He's back, he's back. So that's everyone should be very pleased for him and his own sanity that he's back to the old Caps.
Is Manny Oyeleke edging closer?
I think that's a couple of weeks away. I think that's another player where, for whatever reason, in, out, and we've got to make sure, and the manager's very big on that. Doesn't want to rush people back. If they're not ready, they're not ready, because it might be good for an hour of a game, but then you might lose them for the next 10. So that's the manager's experience coming into play. He knows what he's doing with players. He's seen it before with injuries. Like I said before, he hasn't seen this amount of injuries before, but he has seen players with these injuries and how to deal with them. So hopefully his expertise will help these players come back stronger than ever.
And Luke Kroll, Jack McCourt, have they got any chance of playing this season?
Definitely. Yeah, Jack McCourt, 100%. And I think Crowley, much more of a yes than a no. I think by the end of the season, we'll hopefully have at least them two back. Yes, we want to push for that number one spot. But if it isn't to be, we want to make sure we're as strong as we are for those playoffs. But yeah, on the Crowley one, he's another one. I think he had some good news the other day about his injury. It wasn't as bad as what was first thought. He's got a smile back in his face, and can't underestimate how much it means to players when they hear the best case scenario actually does come true. So I would think that, I know Jack will definitely be back within the season, and Crowley, fingers crossed.
Are they back in training yet, or edging closer?
No, Jack McCourt's running strong. Crowley isn't yet, but the knee brace he's wearing is off, and he'll be jogging next week.
And finally, Tom Denton. I think he had an ankle problem a couple of weeks. How's he getting on?
Yeah, good. He had a bit of banter with the gaffer in there, saying he'd be fit for Saturday, and it was maybe. So stranger things have happened again, but he'll be no more than a few weeks away at most.
The deadline for National League clubs to sign players is Thursday. I know I asked you this on Saturday, but I'm going to try again. Could there be anyone in before Thursday's deadline?
Not that I know of at the moment, Liam. Not that I know of. I think, as you said, I think the manager's made the point that what I've just spoke to you about injured players coming back. He's very big on if he was to bring anyone in at any point in his career, whether here or in the past, it's always been on what they're like as characters as well. Yes, our squad has been decimated through injury, but the lads that have been playing have been given their all for the shirt, whether they've made mistakes along the way or some poor performances here and there, they have given it their all. And I don't think he wants to rock the boat with that. Not saying that no one will come in, but as it stands, I think he's looking at those injured players and when we can get them back to make us even stronger.
Do you think if anyone does come in, it's probably likely to be a loan rather than a permanent deal?
Once again, I don't know. I mean, we have discussions in the manager's office about players and targets and the contacts we all have, but it all comes down to the manager's decision if he thinks that person will make us stronger and better. And at the minute, he's decided to stick with the squad we've got. And like I say, if we've got a few more of those injured players coming back sooner than later, we will finish the season very strongly.
Tomorrow night, then, do you think it'll be a good footballing game? Altrincham likes to play some nice football as well, don't they?
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. If you were to say a lovely footballing game and a draw or defeat, or a horrible game and a Chesterfield win, I'd choose the win. I do fancy us to play a lot better than we did Saturday. I've seen them a few times, Altrincham, and they're a good team, especially going forward. They play the right way, and the manager there's done a good job over the years. So it's going to be a tough one. But we're going there to win, and we're going there to win every game going forward.
Is the manager still sort of making little tweaks here and there, or has he made any other big changes in the last few weeks or so?
I think it's that drip feed in the way he wants to play, without going into it too much tactically and technically. There's little things the players are starting to get and understand. Even the performance Saturday, it wasn't a classic, but there was little things that we saw that showed us that they're starting to understand the way he wants things done. There's still a lot more to get done to be the complete way that Paul Cook wants his teams to play. So hopefully that will come more and more sooner than later. It's still good for us as a younger set of staff to listen and learn off someone with that experience. It's been great for me and my personal journey, as I've said before. But forgetting about personal journeys and experience, we'll want to get that promotion, and whatever it takes, we're going to try our best to get it.